A single guardian made his way cautiously back to the old bridge. Before him was a scene of utter devastation. Was there anything left of their old home? The conflict had finished 18 moons ago, and the Sylvan Elves were wanting to move back to their old haunts. 7 bands of guardians had been sent out to check the old roads back into their homeland. Gwyndor and his group had reached the pass above the old bridge early that day. Dropping down to the river, they divided and spent the day checking the southern banks. Arwen had found a live butterfly. That was a good omen. Life was returning already. Gwyndor too had seen coarse grasses still surviving by the old bridge. Evening was drawing on, and it was time to meet up with the others and to return to their camp at the head of the pass. Late in the evening, they came together again at their camp just below the head of the pass. What should they do? Push on into the desolation of their homeland, or return to their brothers? Surely the butterfly was a harbinger of hope. They discussed the issue well into the night, and could reach no definite conclusion. A decision would have to be made in the morning. The morning sun brought a decision, but still there was much to discuss. They would move on to the ancient woodlands. By midday, the group had crossed over the river and were making their way through the last range of hills before the plains began. The signs were good. More green things were growing again. Their hearts grew lighter as they realised that the devastation had not been as bad as first thought. Late afternoon had brought them down to the edge of the plains. In a cluster of beech trees, Gwyndor decided to rest the horses and to set up the camp for the night. Signs of life were increasingly abundant, lightening the spirits of the 4 elves. Arwen was sitting in the evening light when suddenly she heard the fluttering of small wings. A sparrow flew down into her hand. This was an honour indeed. The memory of the elves had not left the land entirely. Over the next 3 days, Gwyndor's group divided and rode through the land west of the lake, sometimes alone and sometimes in pairs. Wherever they went, the healing process was in full sway. The smell and sound of growing things delighted their senses. By common consent, they ended their 4th day at the watchtower on the lake. 2 of the group made their way to the top of the tower, finding the signal beacon had been freshly prepared. Their fellow elves had been there only a day or so ago. That night, Gwyndor and Finarfin lit the beacon on the tower, while the other 2 prepared the evening meal. In the far hills, another light twinkled. They were not alone. Other guardians had seen their light. The following morning, they decided it was time to make their way back. Their homeland was healing fast, and the others needed to know. It was time for the people to return. In the mountains, Gwyndor's group met that of Finduilas. Together, they made their way back to the elves' encampment. On their return, the elders called a meeting of all the elves to discuss the move back to their homeland. All were invited to take part, even the younger ones. Everyone was thrilled and agreed that an advance party should leave as soon as possible. The others would move out when the settlement in their homeland had been re-established. The first party to reach the old bridge were in great excitement. The few months since Gwyndor's group had been there had seen many changes. It was almost as if the devastation had never been. In the years to come, the tale of the elves' homecoming was told and retold. No one tired of listening to the story. It was sung about, declaimed in poetry, and woven into the elven histories.